We are getting many complaints from the public about their bosses still forcing people to go to work. Probably has 100 to 150 employees. They have not scaled back, one viewer said about a car dealership. Another viewer said, even the departments that have full capability of working from home are being required to have staff in the office during this time. And another viewer sent us this video of an Amazon recruitment event in Thornton, people close together inside a room. On Sunday, Governor Polis announced another public health order, this one directing all non-essential businesses to reduce their in-person staff by 50% during operating hours.
And if you can do it by more than 50% through telecommuting, through shifting and staggering of schedules, if workplaces can convert to 100% telecommuting, I encourage them to do that.
The order says a violator could be hit with a fine of up to $1,000 and a trip to jail for up to 1 year. When I asked the state how it would enforce this order, the Public Health Department said in an email, local public health officials would decide whether they needed to get local law enforcement involved, and added, that is something that is reserved only for the most aggravated circumstances. The governor made it clear on Sunday there's a more dangerous consequence.
And if you can do it by more than 50% through telecommuting, through shifting and staggering of schedules, if workplaces can convert to 100% telecommuting, I encourage them to do that.
Businesses that can prove their employees are constantly 6 feet apart would be exempt from this order. An order is one thing, but getting people to follow it is another. This order goes into effect Tuesday morning at 8. In Denver, Jeremy Hohola, 9 News.